comedy, man.
Well, I mean, you kind of have to do what you have to do, right?
Yeah.
And if it's navigate buttons, it's still going. Navigate buttons on your podcast machine because one is busted. I thought you were going to put us a different logo in there.
I haven't been here. Like,
well,
I mean, I've been on like 3 trips.
Can't you tech wizard some stuff?
I mean, I could probably.
Like,
I'm only going to be here today this week too. So,
but I mean, I feel like you can tech wizard some stuff offsite.
Probably.
Well, there's no maybe to it.
Well, yeah, but like,
in the words of freaking Yoda, do or do not.
There is no try.
There is no try.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, where were you?
We went to the college spring break trip, and then I went on the youth spring break trip as a chaperone.
Yeah. How was they?
Yeah.
How was they?
They was good.
All right. We've got a wild one today.
Yeah.
We're not going to cover really. We're going to cover a lot of important things, but we're going off script just because it's been so wild.
Yeah.
You've been gone, and then I had been gone for something I can't remember. I got super busy one day. Well, you weren't here, so that had a lot to it.
Yeah.
And then
I was.
What was it? Was it 2 weeks ago?
Testing that day.
That's it. Yeah, that's right. That's right. You were intensely testing, and I was going to come up and do one by myself, but then I didn't figure people really wanted to either care to hear that.
Man,
but I just combined the stuff I was going to talk about then to today, so it should be pretty good.
There we go.
By the way, this is a public service announcement, and we are not sponsored by this company, but I drink a lot of Smart Water, and as many as I drink, I still don't remember that they fill them all the way to the very tip top, right? I open it, I take a drink, bam, all over the front of me. The good thing is it's water, so it's not really that big of a deal. And I have shorts on, so before people start saying, Danny looks like he's sitting there with no pants on because the shorts are the same color as my legs, I have shorts on. And it's shorts weather.
Somehow.
Yeah, it's glorious. It's gonna be like 72 today and sunny because this is Tuesday that we're filming this. Let's anything you want to talk about quickly? We're gonna get into your trips.
Okay.
To your mini trips because you got another one coming up too.
Yes, this Thursday Friday. Friday.
You should probably know that.
Yeah, Yeah. I didn't even know where we were going for the youth spring break till I got there that morning. So
is that true?
Yes.
No one told you on the trip.
Well, I knew when I got to the church.
I thought you meant till you got to the physical location. I'm like, dude, in an 8-hour car ride, no one said, hey, this is where we're going to end up.
I got to the church and I was like, by the way, guys, where are we going?
You just knew it was somewhere warm?
I just knew it was somewhere, yeah.
Where did you go?
South Carolina. We went to Myrtle Beach.
Myrtle Beach. All right, hold on. Let's pray. I'll pray us in. You can pray us out. Mm-hmm. And then we'll talk about our sponsors. Then we'll get into all of this stuff that's going on. All right. Lord, just thank you for this time. Lord, help us to just honor you with everything that we do here, Lord. Just thank you so much for your son and celebrating his death and resurrection this weekend, Lord. And thank you for us being Christians and Easter people. And Lord, help us to just remember the death, resurrection, and the burial and all that every day, Lord, because it's such an important part of our faith and for why we feel like we need to do what we do. And again, we just thank you for your son, Jesus, and that sacrifice. And we ask that you lift up the prayer requests this week. We've had a lot of death in the church family, and we just ask that those people be comforted and help us to lift them up and just honor you in doing so. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
So, as always, let's go through our wonderful list of sponsors. We have CrossFit, Northern Kentucky, the premier CrossFit gym in Northern Kentucky. I don't know that that's true, but for me it is.
Yeah.
So I've noticed something, without going on too deep of a tangent here, that in today's time, if, as the world views it, if it's truth to you, then it's truth.
Yeah. Oh boy.
And from what I've gathered also, you can apply that liberally to whatever you feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can.
You can also retract it
later
when you feel like it. Yeah. So it's really, objective truth is really something.
Yeah.
You can just Well, it's true to me. So it's obviously true. Yeah. That is, let me make a disclaimer. That is not true. None of that is actually true.
Yeah.
And it's a poor policy that we've adopted in our present culture. Kentucky olive, purveyors of fine oils, balsamics, cheeses, jams. I like to call them charcuterie jams. That is not what they are, but that is what we use them for.
Yeah.
So they have like spicy jellies and stuff like that, which are so good.
Good, yeah.
Have we talked about my combo?
Yeah, I think we
You want to
did.
hear it again?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Bagel bite, boar's head, peppered, hard salami, goat cheese, some sort of pepper jelly, olive. Eat it. Then, immediately after.
Eat another one.
No, or, it takes a second to make it, which is the frustrating part about a charcuterie board. It'd be nice if you just pluck them off there, but you have to assemble it yourself.
Yeah.
And then I usually grab one of those little pickles. You know I'm talking about, those little bitty guys?
Yeah.
Tina gets those. I'm not a peppercini guy, so I leave those for my son-in-laws who eat pretty much everything. Speaking of Tina making delicious charcuterie boards, Tattoo Tina's, the world's finest tattoo shop, run by the two most beautiful tattoo artists in all the land. Tattoo Tina's, 7 Shelby Street. Serious broadheads and tough head. Serious archery products and tough head broadheads. Seth was shooting some javelina. Fun fact about javelina: they look like little pigs. They're not. They're actually rodents, and there are a lot of them in Texas. They don't see well, so which makes them. This is going to probably get us in trouble, but it makes them fun to shoot because you can sneak up on them. And they're delicious.
That sounds so
Yeah, it sounds bad, but it's the truth, right?
Yeah.
They have great noses. They see movement well, and they're also really fast and aggressive. So for those people who are upset that we sneak up on an animal that can't see that well, when you sneak up on them and they see you, they don't run away from you. They run at you. And they have sharp teeth and tusks.
Yeah.
So don't feel too bad for the javelina. And they're very invasive down there. So for those of you who know me, in case you didn't figure it out, I'm pro hunting. So no apologies there. Steak and Shake. But anyway, he was down there shooting some javelina, having a good time. He's putting it on his Instagram page. And you can follow along watching him sneak down the Sandero, which is Mexican or Texican for road. I found out. I didn't know that. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. Look, you got your phone?
I think.
Look that up to make sure that I'm not giving false information. Let's fact check that. And Steak and Shake. Brother Michael Buteau and the Steak and Shake crew. We've eaten there the last couple Sundays, not Easter, but the last couple Sundays. Awesome. Premier Fitness, grappling, wrestling, and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Ladies and men's mixed kickboxing classes. Mitch has got it all over there. That's Mitch Casson. For you guys that don't know, if you are a youth or a young adult at this church, you have met Mitch because he will come over and kind of combine. What do we know?
I couldn't find it.
You can't find Sandero?
No.
I'm pretty sure it is. If it's not, put it in the comments. But I'm pretty sure Sandero is what they call a road bed that they have where they drive the trucks back and forth. AIG, our friends at AIG. We love those guys. We have a lot of friends at AIG that have now started kind of coming to the church, and we love.
Yeah.
They're all awesome. A lot of them are in leader positions. But Brandon Clay, and things like that. So I want to talk about. Let's talk about your trip. We'll talk about a couple things that I've got going on, or that we're in the planning stages of. So you went to Myrtle Beach with the young adults,
with the youth.
Which trip was first?
We went to Jekyll Island with the college group.
Let's go in a timeline fashion here.
Yeah.
First trip was to Jekyll Island with the young adults.
With the college group, we went there.
And
we hung out. It was just a hangout trip really. We went and shared the gospel a little bit and everything, but it was most of the time we were hanging out. And then we did the Road to Emmaus study for both trips.
Has
So,
anyone done an Emmaus walk in that group?
I don't think so.
Interesting. I'm gonna have to try to sign Jonathan up for one of those. I've done one. Tina's done one. Jeff's done one. For any of you who are curious about that, please get a hold of me because it's a wonderful thing. You need a sponsor to do it, so it'll be good, and it's really good. It's a very, very refreshing experience, and I say that the Emmaus walk is like Fight Club. You can mention it, but you don't talk about Fight Club. That's the first rule of Emmaus. You don't talk about Emmaus. It's a joke. I'm just messing about. So you got back and you chaperoned the high school trip.
Got back, did a week of finals,
Mm-hmm.
and then went and chaperoned the high school trip. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so how did along with the high school trip, did your brother go?
My brother did not go. No.
How did the video of him on the treadmill make it back to the internet?
We literally have no idea how they found it. Like, it was just all of a sudden he sent me that video. Like, he's like, "Hey, look what was on Snapchat." And I was like,
The video of him on the who Snapchat?
It was on the Gym Fails Snapchat, like the Gym Fails
He
story.
made it to like
like an official Snapchat story. Like,
would he
Gym
be mad
Fails.
if I asked Jessica to tag that into this video? Do you think she could edit?
Dude, sure she could. I mean, I don't think he'd care. I mean, even if he does, who cares? They can just go.
I mean, I care. I like Connor, dude.
You know, like, I don't care. I mean, it's on. I'm sure he doesn't care. It's on all my social medias, so it's not like.
Oh,
it's not like it's
so
a big
for those
deal.
of you who haven't seen it, it's possibly, and I think maybe because I know Connor, it's even funnier.
Yeah.
To watch him try to jump onto a full blast treadmill, and then the catastrophe that follows is just amazing.
like-
and then he's fine is
Yeah.
even better.
It's definitely one of the top 3 videos of all time.
Okay, so
I
he
would
didn't.
think.
He didn't get. We are squirreling all over the place. So he didn't go on the trip. So where did you guys went to Myrtle Beach?
Yes.
And then what was that trip like?
So we did the same study, and it was more like going to do stuff based rather than the college. I mean, I guess Jekyll was too. I was doing a bunch of homework during both of them, so I didn't really get to go do much other than like study the Bible, which is the best part. That's the only reason I really go to them, to be honest. I don't like
Just study the Bible.
I don't like traveling, but
Well,
I enjoy the
so-
Bible studies.
because we're buddies, you can study the Bible here, right? You don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah, but like there's like you get to do it with a whole group. Like it's fun. But
Yeah, I also feel like you could do that here, but I mean,
like, you know, might as well go.
yeah, no, I mean, I'm glad. Yeah. So you want to take the bus?
Yeah, we took the van.
How long of a bus ride?
I cannot remember. I think Myrtle Beach was like 8, 9, 10 hours.
I was gonna
somewhere
say,
like-
dude, if you made it in 8 hours to Myrtle Beach,
8,
whoever
9,
was
10.
driving that bus was flying.
It's Jonathan. Jonathan always flying. No, I'm just kidding.
Whoa!
He does not drive like fast, guys.
So, Jonathan was driving?
Yeah, Jonathan drove.
Nice. Did you go to Buc-ee's?
We did on the way back.
Yeah.
And then of course we went to Cookout. Have to go to Cookout.
Did you have a brisket sandwich at Buc-ee's?
I did not. I just stayed in the car. I didn't get out.
It's the Walmart of gas stations. dude.
We went to the
understand
one
that.
in Richmond. Like we were almost home.
Oh, okay.
Well, like I was about to go eat dinner at home. Like I wasn't gonna
Oh, I gotcha.
buy a sandwich. I think a few people did though. Get them.
So Bible study, same study.
Yes,
That's
from
awesome.
both. Yeah.
That's awesome. How many kids
So
went on the youth trip? We can say kids because most are under 18.
I think there were 6
Nice.
students.
Yep. More kids.
Yeah,
They're under
kids.
18.
Yeah,
And by all.
yeah.
Legal-
I think there
legal
was
standard.
6. I'm pretty sure it was 6,
Nice.
6 or 7.
Nice.
So
So, you got back here, did some more studying.
yeah.
Nice. Before we get to your next trip, we had Easter, which is a big deal. Good Friday.
yeah.
Well, no, I mean for the church, it's a big deal
Yeah.
anyway, everybody. But it's a big deal for the church because there's just much more attendance. People come out, which was really awesome. I had a couple of people comment to me about how well organized they thought it was that don't normally go here, which I think is good. I think that's awesome for our staff and for the people who are not just the staff, but the people who are working, the people who brought the orange juice and the little danishes, you know, I'm talking, you know, all that stuff, dude. They said it was very well organized. They said the service was well organized. We had kids choir, double choir, us, Andy, you know, so there was a lot of things. There were a lot of moving parts and a lot of things going on. So that I felt like that was a very, very nice compliment.
Yeah.
So we had Easter, and then got together at the house, and then we've got a bunch of stuff coming up this week, unfortunately, with funerals and things like that. But you know, that's kind of how it goes. And we want to remember those families of ours that are dealing with that kind of stuff. It's a rough time of year to kind of deal with that stuff. So something that I have been, there's a tentative at this point, I'll say, men's breakfast for Saturday because of all of the things going on. I'm not sure if they're going to move that or not, but it seemed like they might. And then we were going to talk about something that I have been working on for like a couple of years, trying to figure out kind of a way to bring the older, younger, and middle kind of veteran community together and have some Bible-based support for those people. So I have thought about this, and I haven't patented any of this name yet, which I probably won't because whatever. Yeah. But I was talking about calling it Warrior Church. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to take a Sunday night, maybe once a month to start. Maybe if it gets big enough, maybe we'll move, you know, a little bit more than that. But and then just people who are veterans, active duty, regardless of what you're doing now, and try to kind of give a support group. We're thinking about maybe like a 10-minute talk from someone, and then maybe splitting off into some groups to try to make some connections. It's going to be just, we want people to feel comfortable. So if they want to come and they can dress however they want, they can talk however they want. They're not, you know, you're not going to have somebody, if they let them, you know, a rough word slip, somebody's not going to go, some, you know, those kind of things. I don't know if you've been a lot around any military people, but they tend to talk relatively roughly a lot of times. Yeah. So we want that to be just like a judgment-free zone, and just maybe make some connections. The biggest thing for me is I always think about, Brad and I talked about this, and Ken Ford and I talked about this, and talked to my buddy Rob about this. We want it outside of this church. Let's get it as big as possible. We'll move some people to another location if we have to, but let's get some of these people connected together, because I think when I think about like my military service and I think about someone else's military service, and then I run into a young man who didn't have the same experience that I had, and I go, oh, there's some ways to support. You hear all the time about things going on where, you know, veterans are committing suicide and they're having trouble dealing with things, they're having trouble assimilating back into like regular society. I will tell you this, and this is the truth. I left the Navy in 2001, January of 2001. There are still things that I had learned in that time from 1994 to 2001 that still drive me nuts today. Being on time, doing these things right. Yeah, that is something that was kind of ingrained into you, and I don't know that some of those things never leave. Right. So, and I'm not saying military veterans are better or worse or whatever. They're just different a lot of times when you come from that. I was on a submarine, so sleeping next to a reactor probably made me a little bit different than most, right? But there are just definitely some differences that happen to you that stick with you pretty much throughout. Some of them good, some of them probably not as good. So the need for like camaraderie and some companionship, I feel like that's always there. I feel like I talk to a lot of people who come in the barbershop who say, I miss being with, you know, all my buds together for days at a time, all this, that's something that that never kind of leaves you. And I think that you can try to recreate that and provide that and give some support along the way, which is really important to me. And it's been kind of a passion of mine for a very long time. For anybody that knows me, knows that I'm extremely interested in veteran things. I try to support companies that support veterans as much as we can, like when we get things. So it's a big passion of mine. So I'm trying to figure out a way to kind of make that happen. So there's a tentative date in May, but I don't know how that's going to go. So I'll keep everybody posted. Other than that, mention the men's breakfast this weekend.
Yep.
We are back to regular service this week, 8:30. Sunday school and Bible study at 9:30. Second service, at 10:35. And as we speak, the men's breakfast for this weekend has been deleted from the calendar. So, you heard it here first, everybody. Actually, you probably won't. They'll probably make a call before this airs. But
we heard it here first.
But we heard it here first. So, what do you have coming up?
Going to Utah this week.
Yep. What are we doing there?
We are serving. I think we're helping them serve at an event, like a local event that they're doing or pulling off.
Yep.
And we're just going to be helping Morgan Grace out there, and then I know we're going to church on Sunday night with them and everything. So it'll be a good time.
So you are leaving Friday?
We're leaving Friday and then coming back Tuesday.
Okay. Tina and I will be out there the following Monday. And I think we're going to try to stop by and see if there's something that we can help out with for a couple of days because I'm doing a wedding out there.
Yeah.
That we're going to try to kind of back up. How many people are going on there? Do you have any idea how many people are going on that trip?
Six of us.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's less than I thought would be interested in going to that.
I think because this one was like so soon, like not too many people could get off work and stuff. Because like pretty much everybody who's going is either somebody who's like most of their work is here, or they're retired.
Yeah, sure.
So
pretty close to Easter as well. It's the week after.
Yeah,
so.
And it's the week after Easter.
For all of you people who are watching this who maybe thought about, going on a trip with the mission group here at church. This is not a world change. This is just us. It's completely worth it, regardless of where you go and what you do. Yeah. I promise you, it is so much fun. Just going into a place where you have the people who want to help, the ability to do so, and basically you have just kind of hey, we're here to support you in whatever way. Everyone that we've gone to, we went to New Orleans, we've gone to a couple, Tina and I have gone to a couple, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Come back, it's just amazing. We went to Stanton, painted and sang and did all these things, right? And help them move, help them kind of do the church was awesome. So every time that we have gone, it has been I don't know if it's a blessing for those people, but for us, it has been an awesome time. We've made friends that we still kind of talk to, on each one of those. You get to know your church family better because you're usually stuck with them for 10 hours. You know what I mean? You're stuck with them for 10 hours a day.
For a long time.
Yep. Other than that, do it. Do it. Yeah. If you can do it, and usually not very long, usually 4 or 5 days, which is, not a lot, but it's completely worth it. It is completely worth it.
We have another Utah coming up in August. So if you have the interest, get the dates and take the dates off. I mean,
do you know the dates?
I don't know the dates. Jeff knows the dates, but I do not.
They're set already?
I think they are.
Okay.
Not positive.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that.
So at first, when the first kind of set of dates that they had for this one, we're going to line up perfectly with the wedding, which is whatever, right? So it was like, we're going to be there anyway. This is going to be great. We'll fly out. We'll be there. They'll get there. We'll help them. And it ended up, I think, moving back a week, which again is not any big deal. So it'll be a little bit of like a 3 or 4 day gap. I think we're flying out Sunday after church or Monday morning. I have to look, but I can't remember the 23rd or 24th, whatever day that is. So it should be pretty good. Utah's a pretty place, dude.
Oh yeah, Isaac he's like, we better see some cool mountains. I'm like, Isaac, you'll see some.
Dude, you'll see some cool mountains flying into Utah.
Yeah.
What are you guys flying into Salt Lake?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. You see some great mountains flying right into the airport.
Dude, and I don't know if you probably haven't been there. To the high school.
I have not.
You haven't, no. Dude, but their football field.
Like down in the valley?
Oh, it is so, it is wild. It's so beautiful.
I remember the first time I really saw that kind of things when I drove out to Seattle, Washington the first time. I got to Montana, and I'm like, oh, this is what everybody talks about.
Yeah.
Like, you just don't, the Appalachians are great, dude. When you drive down through, Tennessee and North Carolina and stuff, like, they're really cool. It's not the same.
No, not
It
at
is
all.
not the same, dude. It is just as far as you can see. And of course, I go out to Colorado into the Rockies every year and go what you guys like to call bow hiking, since I haven't shot an elk yet, but I like to call it hunting. But I fell in love with it, dude. I love it out there.
Yeah.
It's just standing on a mountainside looking out and just going, I can't see a house.
Yeah.
All I can see is mountains. It's amazing to me that it still exists, in this country. Other than that, what other kind of things do you what do you want to talk about? I'm going to read something from 1 Corinthians here at the end of this broadcast. But what else you got going on?
Just school.
Just school.
Literally.
What about here at church? What do we got going on here at church?
Same old stuff, just scheduling posts for the week, making posts and everything.
Yeah, so I'm giving you the opportunity, I don't know if you've noticed this, to talk about the testimonies, Riley.
I was about to get there.
That's what I'm trying to lead you into.
I was about to get there.
Okay, go ahead.
And we are still open to filming testimony. I was about to go there.
That's what listen, that's what we call in the business a lead-in.
Yeah, well, I was going to get there.
Okay.
I was just getting through like the normal stuff.
Yeah.
We're still doing testimonies. We haven't put one out in a while, but we're still doing them. We got a few coming up. We've got a few people signed up that we're going to hopefully get out soon. Mm-hmm. We're still dealing with technology issues as far as capabilities for editing right now, so we are a little bit behind on that. But we're going to get them all out as soon as we can and get everything back on track, hopefully.
I want to take this opportunity, I'm not sure he'll watch this, but to tell Brother Andy that he is doing an awesome job.
Yep.
I thought the second service, and again, I could be biased. I get to watch it twice, right? So, and I get to sit in it twice, and I usually will go back over and critique what our group could have done better or differently or just whatever. But I thought second service, he brought it, dude. It was really good. Oh, yeah. Really good Easter sermon. So I was very happy with that. I had a visitor that came and was asking me questions yesterday about the sermon on Sunday. So I always feel like that's good.
Yeah.
If it got him thinking about something. So he is doing an awesome job, and Jonathan's preaching this week.
Yes.
So Brother Andy's got a KBC commitment. So Jonathan's preaching this week, which I always like. He's always he's got something interesting to talk about. Something I wanted to bring up, we talked about it a couple weeks ago in our Sunday school class. We didn't have Bible study this week, but I was thinking about 1 Corinthians chapter 2 and Paul talking to the church, right? There's a lot of backstory to the Corinthian church where they get some bad info from some letters, and that they wrote Paul, and he basically said, "Hey, we got some questions because we're hearing some differing kind of opinions on this." And then at the beginning of the church, he says, there shouldn't be a group of people that say, I follow Apollo, or I follow Paul, or I follow Peter. We should be following Jesus Christ and him crucified, right? So I just wanted to read a couple verses here from the beginning of 1 Corinthians chapter 2. When I came to you, brothers, announcing the testimony of God to you, I did not come with brilliance of speech or wisdom, for I didn't think it was a good idea to know anything among you except Jesus Christ and him crucified, which I love that verse. I came to you in weakness and fear and in much trembling. My speech and my proclamation were not persuasive words of wisdom, but with a powerful demonstration by the Spirit, so that your faith may not be based on men's wisdom, but on God's power. I think about that a lot of times in multiple applications, where it says, I choose to know nothing but Christ and him crucified. You are going to school for theology type things. I have gone to school for theology type things. And sometimes I want to jump into things and go, well, let's get deep into this, right? That's not necessarily all the time. We know from the book of Acts that Paul can speak very persuasively, and he can give a sermon that is really, really powerful and dressed up. But a lot of times people just need to know the gospel of Jesus Christ, right? So I thought that was really important. It kept kind of coming up over the past 2 weeks in general spots where people were kind of asking some questions, and then there's always the conversation that pops up in the barbershop about the conversation about Lent and the Catholic Church. There's a lot of Catholic people around here that come in the barbershop and everything else, and the differences, and ultimately none of that really matters. I think observing Lent, if you want to do that, Christian, a Protestant Christian or a Catholic Christian, doesn't matter. I think it's awesome. If you're going to give up that time for that 40 days, whatever you give up for that 40 days, spend that time with Jesus, right? I mean, that's kind of the point. But none of that ultimately matters, because what matters was death, crucifixion, burial, resurrection. The Christ, Jesus Christ, him crucified, greatest gift that's ever happened. You should think about it every single day. Like I said, earlier, it shouldn't be just Easter where we go, hey, he came out of heaven,
lived a perfect life.
Perfect.
He died.
He died. The only thing that could have paid for the sin that I'm going to have, and the sin that you're going to have, and the sin that's coming, and the sin that's past, and all of these things, there's no other way. Because if there was, when he prayed, let this pass,
then it would have.
They would have.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that something about that verse is, I choose to know nothing except for Christ and him crucified, is a pretty important verse. And I think when you get in situations where you're talking to people, like you are out there, especially out in a place where there is a very differing opinion about Jesus, right? It's not that they don't know him. It's just they have a very differing opinion about him, to where, I think it's important when you get in those conversations that it's important to remember that Jesus Christ and him crucified, that's the most important, and resurrected, right? Is the most important thing.
He came, he died, he rose, he ascended, and he's coming back.
Yeah. So, something happened yesterday. Again, this is kind of it's topical, but it's kind of happened where we're getting a discussion about Jesus and Easter and death and resurrection, where someone basically said, well, he was born and he's not dead. I was saying, well, he's not dead. So it was the he is risen as opposed to he has risen. Mm-hmm. I said is in the present tense, which means he is presently alive. Yeah. And they looked at him and he is alive, like 100%. Yeah. He ascended into heaven. He is alive still today. And they said, well, how is that? And I was like, well, he was born. And I guess said, technically he's always been, right? He's always been alive. Except for when he was crucified, went to hell, conquered death, resurrected. Yeah. That's why it's so important. And I don't think that people generally think about it like that. He was killed violently. Yeah. And went and paid our sin debt at that time, came back, conquered death, and was alive then, is alive now. Like Brother Andy said in that same book that I read out of, 500 witnesses besides Paul and a couple of the disciples. And of course you found out in the Emmaus walk, there's two more. There's Cephas and Cleopas and his companion on the road to Emmaus, plus whoever was sitting in dinner with him. Right. So, there's a lot of evidence that what we say is the right way to do it.
And there's a lot of historical evidence too.
Yes, there is.
It's wild when you look at it.
Have you taken a class that shows you the external, so the things that the non-religious accounts of Christ's existence?
I've not taken a class.
You will.
But yeah, I know. But
yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I'm not there yet, but I've watched a lot of lectures on it from I know AIG put out a bunch of lectures on it. I've watched all of those.
So there's some interesting stuff because there's a lot of Roman and kind of Greek literature, and including the Bible and some of the religious writings, there is technically more proof of the life of Jesus Christ than there is for any of the Roman emperors.
Yeah.
It's crazy, right?
And yeah.
Like, if I said to somebody, hey, do you think Julius Caesar existed? They'd be, of course he did, right? But you can find people who say, hey, do you think Jesus Christ existed? And they're like, no, I don't think so. It's like, well, I mean, he did.
Yeah.
Just very interesting to me.
I heard this one quote. I don't want to misquote it because I don't even know who it was from, but it was from like some atheistic high thinker, and he was like, you can't deny that he existed, but you can. His like, I don't.
I think
he was like.
So yeah, the quote you're thinking about is where he says, "You can't deny the existence of Christ, but he finds it easy to deny the deity." Of Christ.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
I can't remember who that was. Yeah. Probably Darwin or somebody like that. But don't quote me on that because I don't know. But
I don't know either.
Yeah, I mean, historical records. I mean, I'm not saying that there's historical records besides the Bible who prove that Jesus was God in flesh, right? But his existence is in there in multiple spots. I used to know some of the books. I can't recall them at this point because I didn't know we were going to be talking about this. Yeah. So, anything else you want to put out? This is an interesting podcast, dude. Just talking about random things. Yeah,
we can talk about school real quick.
Yeah, if
you ever want to go to seminary, be warned. This 8-week semester. So our semesters are 8 weeks. Mm-hmm. They are 8 weeks. You get 1 week break, and then 8 weeks again.
Oh, you're lucky, dude.
There's 5 of those for the whole year.
Hold on a second. Right. Let me tell you how Liberty turns out sometimes. Sometimes you have 2 classes for 8 weeks, and before the end of those classes, 2 more classes start up. So as you're wrapping up the 2, you're in the first week of the next 2. But that's awesome that you get the week break.
Yeah, you get a week break where I go, and for this 8 weeks, I have 18 textbooks, and have to write an essay on every single one of them.
Nice. 18.
There's one due today. Yeah, did one yesterday.
It's like 2.14 essays due.
Yeah,
per week.
And they're all long books.
They are?
Most of them. Like, they gave you a schedule, like, it's like 60, 70, 80 pages a day, like, for one class, and then the other class is like 100 pages, like, a week.
A day?
A week for that one. But it's like
60, 80, like to read?
Yeah, to read. 60 to 80 pages. Like, that, the one class is just essentially just a reading class.
I would also like to comment on your comment for anybody who thinks that reading is exciting. I don't know what class it is. What class is it?
It's literally just great books. The one is. So it's just
it's just great books.
It's literally just reading.
Well, you might get some good reading in there.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, it's like I really enjoy reading, but like.
So I'll just side note this. For everyone who has read Mere Christianity, which is awesome.
It's a great
book.
It's
super great to read.
I wish that was one of our great books.
All books that are considered great in theological space don't read like Mere Christianity.
Yeah.
Right. So, good luck with that.
Yeah. You know.
And the essays to make sure you read them. That's why they do that. It's
just your personal response to the thing.
They're verifying that you're reading, you're going through the material, which is good.
I have to finish the one for today.
Well, are they formal?
They're not. I mean, they're kind of they're formal, but it's so you analyze. So they're not all entirely Christian based either.
Right.
The books. It's just they're great writing throughout history.
Okay.
And you're analyzing the way it's written, type of stuff. And you look for either the good, the true, or the beautiful in those books.
Real true or objective true?
How they describe the good, the true, and the beautiful within the book. You pick one, and then you compare that to how the Bible would describe the good, the true, and the beautiful.
That's a fun paper. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
It's fun, but
yeah, that's not fun. I mean, they're not all like that, but that's like 12 or 13 of them are like that.
Nice.
And that's just the one class. Like the one for this week was, or not this week, this module, which was like 5 days, was the Odyssey. So that one was not that difficult.
Well, first, hold on a second. Yeah, it's a poem, so it's not.
I mean, it is 24 books in one, but it's still just a poem. It's not. Follows very.
Did you just turn on? Hey, did you turn on "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" and just watch that?
No.
Because that's what that's based on. You knew that, right?
Yeah.
No.
I should have, but I didn't. I didn't.
Hey, teacher, I'm gonna pass reading this, and I'm just gonna go watch this movie and highlight that.
Take my reading quiz and be like, oh, these characters, I don't know who it is. You got the wrong names.
Yep. So, you want to pray us out?
Sure.
Everybody pray for Riley this week, or this next 8 weeks.
Yeah.
7, whatever you got left.
7.
And
like,
you're traveling. You're brave, dude, because you're gonna be working on the trip. You're gonna have to, right?
I'm gonna get as much done as I can before, but yeah, that's what I had to do for college spring break and the youth spring break too.
Yeah.
I've decided no fun activities in the meantime either. So
it's probably a smart idea.
No video games. No.
Really?
Yeah, I deleted them all off my computer, and then I gave the Switch and the VR and my Xbox to my dad and said, "Don't give them back."
That's a huge commitment for you.
Never take 3 classes at a time.
I stayed at 2.
This one is 4 at a time, but 3 that are like
intensive.
And then the 4th one's just like you do a discussion board once a week.
That's not bad.
So that one's really easy, but everything else is wild. So yeah, that's it. Cool. We're done.
Yeah. That thing did it again. I don't know what that is.
Is it a notification on your computer?
It seems like it might be.
Because I noticed when we were filming the other one, and I was sitting over there, I got a notification, and I could hear it.
On my computer?
No, on my computer. When my laptop was plugged in. When I was sitting there, when me and Jonathan were filming.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, could you hear that? And he was like, no. So I think just the person who sits there can hear it for some reason.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I have the headphones plugged into there so I can hear the playback. So maybe that's it.
because I can't hear the playback. So maybe
that's right. Yeah. Okay. We've sorted it out.
There we go.
We've sorted it out. All right. Pray us out here, buddy.
All right. Dear Holy Father, thank you for letting us come here and talk about some stuff today. We were kind of random, but I pray that people who are listening enjoyed. Thank you for letting us celebrate you every day, but especially on Easter, the importance of that day and everything that you've done for us. I just pray that this upcoming trip to Utah, that it's fruitful in a way for the people going and potentially for the people who we're helping serve. And I just pray that you're here with everybody who's staying here and the rest of the church, that everything is going well for them. And I pray that you're with the families who have lost people this past week. And I just pray that sorry. I just pray that everything goes well while we are gone. Amen.
Amen.
I didn't know how to end that.
That's okay.
No.
Well, you
also choked in the middle of it, but
also a lot going on this weekend.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Yes.
All right. Bye, everyone.